Hello, Nick.
Yeah, Neil. Wait, how you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Just at work at the moment.
That's all right. You got a few minutes?
Yeah, man. Few minutes. Yes, Neil.
Sorry about that, mate. How are you?
You're alright? Good, and you?
Yeah, very good, very good. The sun's finally shining in Tasmania.
Oh, beautiful.
Been a long winter.
Yeah, right. Well, it's been a bit cloudy in Sydney for the last few weeks. It's just been raining non-stop.
Yeah, they're getting plenty of rain in Brisbane at the moment too, I believe.
Yeah, and Mount Kosciuszko and the Snowy Mountains is still snowing, so...
Jesus.
Yeah, so we're getting a bit of a breeze that comes up, and it's like winter time, and then, you know, it starts to warm up a little bit in the afternoons, but not much, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, you live in Western Sydney, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and there's some reasonable sort of patches of bushland in the area still?
Oh, yeah, heaps where I live.
Okay, and that
Yeah.
does that run right up to the Blue Mountains, those corridors?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So tell us about your sighting, mate. What happened?
Well, I went full driving with my mate, and I just took him out for a drive because he was at my house. We were doing some work on his bike, and then I said, we'll go for a cruise in my 4B and I'll show you around the area, you know.
Okay.
And I went down towards Kemps Creek, which isn't far from my house, like less than 5 minutes, and it backs onto the big parklands, and like there's a few trails and tracks there.
Yep.
And so we're just driving along the trail, like just cruising along, and the grass is really overgrown, and you know there's shrubs and stuff, and like my 4B's really high, probably over 2 meters high, but some of the grass was like higher than my 4B. And I've come around this bend that goes from one trail to the other, right next to the big power station there at Kemps Creek. And as I've come around the bend, I've sort of seen something in the distance, like about maybe 200 meters away, and it's like blending in with the grass and the surroundings, and it's right near this big power pole. And like it sort of stood up on its back legs, and I didn't know what to take of it straight away. And I'm looking at it. My mate, he's in the military, by the way, as well, and he wears glasses, but his eyesight's probably not the best as good as mine. And it's gone on its back legs, then it's gone back down on all fours, and it's like taken off into the grass, and then like the grass was probably anywhere from like half a meter to about a meter high.
Okay.
And as soon as a meter high, I couldn't see it, but it was well over the half a meter high grass, and then it's gone off into the woods, like there's clear grass like where I was.
Yeah.
Like it's clear. There's no trees or anything like that. But probably about 40-50 meters away, there's like more trees and stuff, and it's really dense. You can't see anything. But I've never seen anything like it in my whole life, because when it stood back on its back legs, it almost looked like a kangaroo. And
okay.
There's literally hundreds of kangaroos there, probably thousands, and like most of the kangaroos, like they run away when you're like going through, you know, driving and stuff. But there's a few bull kangaroos that don't move at all. They'll just stand there and look at you, and they're like 2 meters tall at least. They won't move. They're not even worried about you.
Yeah, you don't mess with them ones.
No, you don't. Yeah.
So how close did you actually get to it from 200 meters?
I was within probably about within 5 to 10 seconds. I probably drove about maybe 30-40 meters, but I was a good about 100 to 150 meters away at least from it. But I'd never seen anything like it in my whole life, and I've got a big Mastiff dog, and it didn't look like a dog. It had a straight tail that wasn't very long.
Right.
And it had a sunken in rib cage, and it was very long. Like my Mastiff's 60 kilos, and he's probably about 80 centimeters at the shoulder. It was taller than him. It was longer than him, and its snout was extremely long compared to like a normal dog. Or because I was thinking it was a dog, because it didn't look like a fox. It was way too big.
Yep.
And when it was on its hind legs, like I was thinking, is that a kangaroo in my head? But everything happened so fast. I go to my mate, what's that? And he's sort of like trying to focus with his glasses on, and I'm like, is that a dog or something? And then he's like, he's trying to make out what it was, but I had like better sight of it than what he did.
Yep.
Even though he was in the car with me. And yeah, like it's nothing like I'd ever seen before in my whole life, and it was camouflaged that well with the grass. Like its coat was exactly the same color as the grass, like a dull browny grey sort of color. Like it blended in so well. I couldn't see any markings on it at all, but it didn't have a fluffy tail. It was really like big for what it was. It would have been at least 50 to 60 kilos.
Yep.
It was massive, and it was really tall. It was probably about 80 to 90 centimeters at the shoulder.
Okay.
And it was huge, and its snout was extremely long. Like if I had to put its snout in comparison to a dog, it was probably like double the length.
Okay, so it had an elongated snout then, without a doubt.
Yeah, but it had a big head. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it had like a big jaw, but like a long snout. I'd never seen anything like it in my whole life.
So you got a good profile look at it when it was standing up on its hind legs.
Yeah, because it looked at me, and as I come around the bend, it sort of like was trying to look up and see where I was, because the grass is high.
Yeah.
I was, and then as I've turned the corner and come around this trail, I'm looking at it, trying to see where I was, because it was on fours, then went up on its hind legs.
Yep.
And it sort of was looking at me, then poof, went back down on all fours, then poof, straight into the grass, then straight into the shrubs and the trees, and I couldn't see it then.
Okay, so as it was taken off through the grass, you could still see it for a few seconds at least?
Yeah, and its gait, I've never seen a gait like that before, because it was hopping, like through the grass. It wasn't like running like a normal dog or a greyhound or something, like, you know, where its back legs were different, like
Its locomotion.
Yeah, it had a totally different motion. It was just like its back legs were hopping in a way. Like,
Have you done much hunting before?
No, I haven't, but I know people that have, but I haven't hunted before, no.
So the back legs were like they were hopping, but it was running with the front?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that kind of looked like it was kind of an awkward locomotion, the way it was running?
Yeah, very, very awkward.
But reasonably agile, looked like moving along at a decent speed?
It was so quick, it was unbelievable. Like, I'd never seen anything like it. It was that quick. It was like literally you got a few seconds of glimpses of looking at it, and then poof, it was just gone.
Yep. So the sighting duration in all was what, 15, 20 seconds maybe?
Probably about 15 seconds, yeah, good 15 seconds, because as it seen me, it like was trying to work me out for a few seconds, and then I've noticed it.
And then it dropped.
That's when it's gotten up, and it's sort of looked a bit more, and then realised I was coming towards it. Then it's got down on all fours, and then it's just like gone through the grass. But as I've seen it go through the grass, I could see the whole body.
Yep.
And it went into the grass, and I could see the top of it, and then it got into like longer grass, and then it finally went into the bush
and disappeared.
When
was this, mate?
This was down in the
No, not where. When?
How long ago? Probably. Actually, I can find the exact date of it, because I got some photos of when me and my mate were working on it. Just give me a second.
All right, no worries. Yeah, I don't need to know the exact location, because this is for an interview, basically. So we'll keep that between us.
Yep, no worries. All good. It was only probably about a month or two ago, probably a bit longer.
Okay, so it's quite recent.
Yeah, 9th of October.
Okay, beautiful. Excellent. Now, you mentioned you're in the services?
No, my mate is.
Okay, yep. Okay.
He's in the military, so he was based in Darwin, but he comes down to Sydney because he's from Sydney, but there's a Holsworthy barracks down in Sydney.
Yep, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, and that's got a fair bit of land around it as well. And like he does shooting and stuff like that. He goes shooting and he goes out. He's pretty familiar with animals as well. And he couldn't, to this day, like I spoke to him that day. I'm like, man, do you know what that was? And he goes, nah. I said, look, I don't know what it was either. I said, look, to be honest, I said, I don't know what it was. I said, it looked like a dog, but I said, it's not a dog. I said, it could have been a wild dog, but I don't think it was.
Nah, they look very kangaroo-like in certain positions, certain postures.
Yeah.
And then they do, when they get on all fours, they take on that more of a dog kind of hyena look. And a lot of people describe the buffy head and the big snout and the tail.
Whatever it was an adult, and it was massive. Like, it was big, because I've got a mastiff, man, and I've owned a fair few big dogs in my life as well.
Yep, this was definitely big.
Mastiff. Yeah, it was huge. Like, if my mastiff seen it, my mastiff probably would have ran away.
Okay. How far is this area from where you live in time-wise for driving?
Yeah, 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, we do tend to find a lot of kangaroos or wallabies with their heads torn off and their lungs missing.
Well, there's heaps of bones out there. I went ball driving a few weeks ago out that place, and there's fucking bones everywhere, just scattered everywhere.
Okay. Well,
I've got a few photos of the bones that are out there, because there's feral goats, and I think there's feral cows, or someone's put cows on the this crown land to eat all the grass.
Okay.
There's heaps of animals out there, man.
Well, mate, if you do go out there regularly, just keep an eye out for anything unusual. If you see some sort of animals that have been preyed on and it looks a bit different for what you might expect to see, by all means, grab a couple of photos. If you're crossing any creeks or sandy areas and you find any unusual footprints, just flick us a photo. But if you do find any prints, just throw a lighter or a coin or anything in there, so we've got a scale on the size.
Yep.
And that'll be really helpful. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no, it sort of freaked me out. I told my dad about it. I told my sister about it. I told my a few friends and family about it. And I said, look, still to this day I don't know what it was, you know.
Yeah.
And then they're like, it could have been a Tasmanian tiger. I said, yeah, look, to be honest, I think it might have been.
Well, mate, that area historically has always had sightings. I've got about 4 sightings from that area going back to the 1970s, pretty much.
Yep.
So, you know, they love the Blue Mountains. There was one shot in the Blue Mountains in the 1860s. That's on the record somewhere. But, you know, they've been extinct on the mainland for thousands of years, if you ask an expert. But I don't really listen to experts, because an expert is just a drip under pressure, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Well, my mother's actually Indigenous. I'm Aboriginal, and my father's Yugoslav.
Okay.
Nation. So we've always known, it's been told to us through our elders in our family that, you know, there is these sightings of, you know, animals like this, and the other one that's a Thylacleo or something.
Yeah, the marsupial lion. That's very much not extinct too.
Yeah, and we call the Yowie, we call that the Dulago in our language as well, where we come from. And where we come from, there's heaps of sightings. There's like Yowie Creek and stuff down near Mogo, the south coast of New South Wales.
Oh, so that's your country down there, is it?
That's my country, yeah.
What's your language group, mate?
We're called Yuan, but it's actually Walbunja. Yuan's it means man in our language, but Walbunja's the traditional name, so it's Darawal Durga. We're the Walbunja people on the south coast. So,
fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Look, mate, any cultural notes that you're happy to share on any of that stuff, get in touch with me. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, no worries. There's a few stories that have been told, you know. But I've just got to write them all down so that I'll get it down properly, you know. But it's very interesting about these animals, because they say they're extinct, but I don't believe that.
Nah, they're not extinct. It just suits their narrative.
Yeah. It's very interesting though, you know. Yeah.
No, that's a fantastic sighting, mate. I really appreciate you giving me your time and permission to use it. That's really good.
No, you're right. I was also going to tell you, there's at Warragamba Dam, there's a big plaque, a mural about a dreaming story about Warragamba Dam and a place called Bent's Basin, which is an extinct volcano.
Right.
It has it's linked to Warragamba Dam and the river there, the Nepean River, and it has no bottom, this Bent's Basin, and there's a few people that have gone missing because it's an undercurrent, and they've actually died there. They found the bodies, 50 metres or 60 metres below the surface.
Yeah, okay.
But that's a woman's area. It's like taboo for men to go there. And I know 2 fellas that got taken away about 8-9 years ago on a Christmas Eve or Christmas Boxing Day or something like that. But there's a dreaming story about that place that says that there's a giant eel that lives in the water, and it had a fight with Mirigum, which is a four-legged beast from the land, and they had a fight, and the eagle went back to the water, and the four-legged beast went back to the land. But the four-legged beast was basically the Tasmanian tiger or the marsupial lion. But it's still a dreaming story that they put up on a plaque at Warragamba Dam.
So they acknowledged it.
They acknowledged it. You know that's what is around the area. You know,
mate. That's the story of the land right there, brother.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful stuff.
Absolutely. Look, real pleasure to talk to you, mate. And any other info you get, feel free to ring me anytime.
No worries.
All right, great stuff. Pleasure to meet you, mate.
You too. Thanks, Neil.
Cheers, mate. Have a good day.
You too.
Ta-da.
See ya.